So we're going to look at this from the very beginning, and when you log in you should see dashboard, and we're going to go down to sites. So this is all about how to create or update a survey that you may already have. So once you click on sites, you'll see these options at the top. You're going to go to survey and then go to builder. Now yours may look a little bit different because I have two surveys here, but what we're going to look at is the free solar quote. So you're going to click on that. And once you click on this, you'll see that it's slides here, and there's actually 4 slides. The first one asks about the monthly electricity bill. The second one asks, do you own a home? Third one has address information, and then the fourth is name and phone number. So we talked about a couple of things that we wanted to change. But first of all, we didn't want anything changed on the first slide, because that's just some basic information. But one thing I would recommend is that you probably want them to fill this out. At this point in time, if there's not an asterisk next to it, that means that they don't have to complete this. So let's say we want them to complete that information. You're going to click here, and when you click on there, you'll see that this opens on the right hand side. You want to go down to the bottom where it says required or hidden. You want this to be visible, so you don't want to hide the question, but you want to make it required. So I'm going to click that. When I click that, you'll now see the star here, and that means that the person has to actually complete this before they can go to the next page. We're going to click save. And when you click save, it's going to have a pop-up message that's going to say, ask about third-party scripts. And so you can go ahead and click proceed on this, because it's going to ask you every time. You can also click a button, which I'll show you the next time we save that, so it doesn't show anymore. So once we made that required, let's go ahead and click this little arrow up here so that I can close, and let's go to the next slide. The next slide asks, do you own or rent your home? Or do you own your home? Sorry. So again, we want someone to complete it. So what do? We make it required. We click on anywhere in here where the words are. The right side pops open. We want to make this a required question. So we click the required box. Then we are going to go ahead and click save. It's going to ask that message again, and again you can click don't show again, so it doesn't show again. But I'm just going to keep clicking that, and the reason being that I'm going to keep that on so I can continue to use this for a demo, and and I can always talk about it. If I actually clicked don't show again, then I won't be able to display that for my next demo. Okay, so oops, I didn't mean to click outside of it. So once I click inside of here, again, do you own your home? I saved it because I made this required. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down some more on here. And if someone says, yes, I own my own home, they can select it. But if they say, no, I rent my home, we want to have a different action. We want them to go to a different page. So for right now, I'm going to click here, and I'm going to say disqualify immediately. So that means they are not going to go through the rest of the survey. So I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to scroll back up here again. I'm going to hit the arrow button to get out of this box. However, I want to go to another box to say, well, I'm going to disqualify them. What does that mean? So I click this style and options over here and open up this page. I clicked options, and I'm going down to where I have the disqualify immediately, which is what I did for do I own my own home. And I want it to go to a certain website. So where it says message, I'm clicking here, click URL, and then I'm going to put the URL of where I want them to go to. And I just picked something, I don't know what the URL will be, but I just found something to put in for demonstration purposes. So again, what I did is, if someone clicks on no, I rent my home, I disqualify them immediately. And then I went to this page and said, when I disqualify them, I want them to go to a different page here. And we'll see how that works once we're done. Again, I'm going to click save. We're going to see that pop-up message come up again. If you don't want to do, you can do don't show again. But I'm going to keep doing that again because I don't want to close that message. And then once we're done, I'm going to hit the X here so I can close out and go to my next page. So my next page is going to show street address, city, postal code. But we talked about that we wanted to get the actual email address. So I Not going to change that here. However, I want to make these things, again, what? Required. So I'm going to click on here. I'm going to hit the required for each of these boxes because I want to know and what each of these are. They have to fill this out. Then I always hit save because we get distracted, right? Things happen, system goes down. You don't want to have to do all this over again. So after every action, I just make it a habit to click save. Then we're going to hit the back button again, go to the next slide. Now, we have first name, last name, which again, I think should be required. So what are we going to do again? We're going to click on here for first name, click required. Click last name, click required. Now, phone number, I'm not going to require that. We're going to actually unclick that, and it can do the country picker once, but you know what? We're going to only have US people, so we can undo this because it's only going to be the US. And we're going to click save. So phone number will not be required. However, we want to add an email address, right? So let's add an email address right under last name. To add a different field, you're going to go to your left-hand side where it says add survey element. And there's a plus button. I'm going to click that. I'm going to look for email. Here it is. I'm going to click on it, hold it, and drag, and let go. And there's my email. It's already required. It already has an asterisk by it. I'm going to do what? I'm going to save because I made a change. And there we go. I'm going to close this side again so it gets out my way. I'm going to put an X, close the X here so it gets out my way. And then I'm going to do one last thing, which is I don't like this text. It's very generic. I'm going to click on the text here. I'm going to do edit HTML. And in here you can change things such as, let's say I want to change where it says agency name. Just call it my solar company. And you can make other changes here as well. All right. And once you're finished making your changes, you save again. You know, this pop-up keeps coming up, but that's fine. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go see how this actually works. So I'm going to go hit the back button here, and we are going to go to look at this. And this happens to be, so we're going to, well, actually let me go back. We're going to attach this to our website. So let me do one thing. We're going to pretend that where I'm going is going to be your website so you can see how this is working. So I'm just going to go to where it's a funnel that's already in the system. It's called Free Solar Quote. Again, this we're going to pretend once I get to this page, we're going to pretend this is your website that's being built by someone else. And that you're going to embed this get a free solar quote. So, and I'll show you how you'll embed that. So what you'll see is that it'll pop up. The first question is, we ask, what is your monthly electric bill? Again, it's a required question, so I'm just going to click something here. We're going to go, the first time we're going to do, yes, I own my home. So I have to answer this question. Let's say if I didn't, I just try to skip it. I have to, it's required. Next question is street address. So this is required. Let's see, I'm going to put in 30 Murberry Lane, any town, and then I'm going to put 08816. I'm going to hit the next button, and my first name we're just going to put in any. Last name is going to be name. Email address is going to be any.name@gmail.com. And let's say I don't feel like I don't want to get my telephone number. And then let's say I had updated this, but we didn't. All I changed on here is my solar company. We kept the same things on here. I do highly advise that you change this, but in the interest of time, I didn't. And then you just hit submit. And then you can always change this. This just says, thank you for taking time to complete this survey. So again, we're going to embed this into your site. So let's actually look to see what happens in the back end and where this information goes. So now that we're back in Creative Impact, I'm going to go to contacts, and I should see any name on there. Any name. So as soon as someone fills out the form, it's right here. You have the information. So let's go back, and we're going to do another one. I'm going to show you what happens once we say I rent. So again, we're going to just pretend that this is your website and that you have a button. You can call it whatever you want, but let's say your button does say get a free solar quote. When you click on that button, it will take you to the survey. We're going to fill out some more answers, and we're going to say this time, no, I rent my home. And it's going to take you to this page. Now again, I just picked the page. You can have them go to another website page of yours that asks additional questions, whatever you want. One other thing I want to show you is going back to Creative Impact. Remember, we had the person any name. So let's go back to contacts. Let's click on any name. So we asked a few questions. I meant to show you also that these questions, not only does the name show up, but the answers to those questions are here too. So we got the address, we got what the contact source was, which is from the free solar quote. We got some information like the city and the zip code. We already knew. We didn't need the state because we knew New Jersey, but you can always ask that information. But here is the information that I really like, that I think is very helpful. And you can ignore these things here. These are additional questions I have for other surveys I'm doing. But this is the one for this survey. So if you wanted to find out and run a report on who all said they own their own home, that information is there. Let's see another question that we asked. Where's your average monthly electric bill? So you can always run a report on who said they had an average monthly bill of $100 to $150. And so that information is held in this. So whatever questions you want to ask, it's held in here. So everything that we collected is here on that contact and is reportable as well. Last thing I'm going to show you, and I had promised to keep this short and I realized I did not. So wake up! Last thing I want to show you is that going back to sites, and I remember I said that this can be put onto your website, and I was just showing you how it's put onto this funnel. Let's go back to Surveys and Builder, and we're going to go back to Free Solar Quote and integrate right here on the right hand side. Again, it's going to ask you, the same alert question. And honestly, what this is saying, when I should have gone into a little bit more explanation, is that the system is saying we're not responsible if something breaks because you're putting in HTML block. And so it does want you to be able to review the content of the script before you save it, and make sure that it looks good. So the person that's actually putting this in, click proceed, we'll just look at this and make sure that it looks, that there's nothing that's going to break. And how this embed works out, that'll just copy and paste this information into your website. So it would copy and paste into that button, and all it does is when someone clicks on it, it goes to this survey here. If you, for example, got rid of the survey and you did not update your website, if someone clicked on it, it wouldn't be there anymore. So always remember that if you do delete the survey, it won't work. If you change questions, however, on the survey, it will just update here, so you can always make changes to it. So you can either embed it, or if you just want to copy and paste a link and send that link to somebody, you can do that as well. But the idea is, if you're going to embed it on a website, like in a button, just as we had shown before, you would do this. I hope this is very helpful, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.